Hello YouTube. Well, today I will be showing you how to do a compression test. This is a 2001 S2000. I mean, I'll go with any other cars out there as well. Basically, when you're doing a compression test, you're making sure that your seals are still good. Basically, it'll tell you if you have a low compression that you could either have bad valve seals, or bad piston rings. Depending, you can figure that out by doing a leak down test, but today we're just doing a compression test. First thing you want to do is remove this cover. There's 4 bolts here I already took off, and that comes off. Next, you want to remove your coils, and that will expose your spark plugs. To remove your coils, you want to take the 10 mils that are on those holes right there. I already took those off. And then you want to pull them off and take this off. You want to take out the plug, which is a pinch and pull type of plug. So I just pull it like that, and you should be able to pull a coil out. So pretty simple. And once you have that done, you do it one by one. You take out the spark plug, put your compression tester in there. Alright, so your compression tester, basically what it is a gauge that will measure how much pressure is in a cylinder getting pushed by the cylinder here. So basically you take out the spark plug, which is not pretty straightforward. If you don't know how to do that, I probably wouldn't recommend you doing this yourself. But this goes right into that hole, and you crank your motor. You want to take out the fuse for the fuel pump, that way it's not pumping fuel while you're doing this. Alright, so before you do this, you also want to pull the 15 or the fuel pump relay, which is right there. I already pulled. It's the 15 amp that sits right there, second from the bottom on the left side if you have an S2000. You want to pull that way when you're starting the motor or you're cranking the motor, it doesn't start because it doesn't get fuel. So alright, to take out the spark plug, you're going to need a spark plug socket. Typically is a 5/8 for these cars. They're pretty tiny, with a long extension. I like to use a long one and a short one. That way it can really go in there. So you have a lot of room to actually turn. So push it in there. Then what you want to do now is just lefty-loosey. So get it loose and spin out for the rest. And it should just come out. It looks like my motor is burning well. You see a little white there, but it looks pretty decent. Alright, next thing you want to do is actually put your compression test into, right now we're going to do cylinder number 1. So put that in there and give it a twist. Alright, now that you have your compression tester installed in the first cylinder here, next thing you want to do is crank the motor a few times. That way it will give it some compression. Alright, here we go. So, sure it's out of gear, and give it some. That should be good enough, and let's see how much is there. Looks like we're pretty good in cylinder number 1, 210. It should be around that range for a healthy motor. So basically now you want to repeat it for every single cylinder. What we're doing here is basically cold start. That way there's no expansion in any of the piston rings or valves, seals, or anything like that. Also it's dry, so there's no fuel, there's no oil right in the cylinder. So you get more of an accurate reading. Again, we want to repeat it for all 4. Right now we're doing cylinder number 2, and we'll go to 3 and 4, and we'll go from there.